Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach Kumalak Yabushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming for Mashiach Kumalak Yabushai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, married and unmarried, holding it down in the households, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers, and fearing Yahweh Bashmi Abushai. Shalom. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, and the rest of our nation that is scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Monday Night Fire, the topic is End Times, AI-generated Bible, UFO crash, and we may also go into a Q&A, right? So there's a lot going on in the earth, especially pertaining to the chariots of the Most High, right? There's a lot of talk and a lot of public outcry regarding the chariots, right? Regarding, now you have people saying UFOs are crashing. An alleged alien was found out in somebody's backyard. This thing is getting out of hand. It's absolutely getting out of hand now. And this is all prophecy. At the end of the day, this is all prophecy. These things that you see, anything that you see on the earth, rather good or bad, has been ordained by Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, and it has been ordained of old. There is nothing that you see, whether that's on a global scale or a domestic scale or a local scale, that's happening, rather it's happening in China or in your backyard, that hasn't been ordained by Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. And the sooner man knows that, the better. Right? This AI generated Bible that we're going to go into, that's Bible prophecy. The so-called talk of UFO crash, that's Bible prophecy, man. Everything you see on the earth has been documented of old. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 48 and 3. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 48, and we're going to read verse 3. Right? It reads, I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. So everything that the Most High has said has come to pass. He said he declared the former things from the beginning, meaning things that are going to happen and things that have happened already, they've been talked about from the beginning. Those are the former things, right? And they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. Now, how did they go forth out of the Lord's mouth? By the prophets. The prophets are the voice piece of Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai. Who is one of the prophets? Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, right? Noah, Elijah, Obadiah, Amos, right? Haggai. These are the prophets who speak about the things that are going to happen on the earth. And they were sent forth out of the Lord's mouth. That says, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. So everything that you see has, will, and will continually come to pass. Right? Let's go to another one. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and 9. It reads, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Right? So before anything happens, when World War III happens and it kicks off, the Lord, he already spoke about it. Revelation the 16th chapter, Jeremiah the 50th chapter, Jeremiah 51, Isaiah 13, 2nd Ezra 13, Joel chapter 3, 9 through 12. The Most High spoke of World War III, right before it even happened. Right? You may say, well, show me where it says AI generated Bible. Well, that goes into Esau and his prophecies and his understanding and his wise men. Right? Now, we're going to get into this. Now, check this out. But brothers, you may be very well aware about what's going on in the earth, but for those who may not be, the World Economic Forum, right? Let's pull this up. Now, this is from 2 days ago. WEF, that's the World Economic Forum, and we'll go into that, calls for AI, and AI is a big thing, right? you have deep fakes, you have AI chats, you have artificial simulations, you have virtual reality. The world is becoming more and more and more disconnected from the spirit. And that's Esau's MO, right? He doesn't even want you to just be fleshly and carnal. He wants you to he wants to take you out the flesh and deal with artificial intelligence, man. He's further separating you from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and giving power and credit to his creation. All right, that's his goal with his MO, is to further separate man from the concept of divinity and a God and an entity above them. And AI becomes that entity, it becomes that God, and it becomes that power that man will praise and laud instead of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? So let's read a little of this. Now we're going to dive into it. WEF calls for AI to rewrite Bible, create religions that are actually correct. So here you have Esau, right? And this is not a small time club. The World Economic Forum is not like the Spanky game, right? It's not like a small time deal. It's not the boom boom room, right? This is an actual geopolitical organization who is putting this out on a massive level, right? Let's pull up the World Economic Forum and we'll see their purpose. So here's the World Economic Forum. Let's see. Then we're going to see their mission. I believe I had it right here. Right, here's the World Economic Forum. Let me pull this up just so we can see who's actually putting this out there about us. The World Economic Forum brings together government, business, and civil society to improve the state of the world, right? To improve the state of the world. So that's what their job is. Their job is to allegedly improve the state of the world. So I guess the so-called white man, Esau, he knows how to improve the state of the world when the Bible says he is the one that has destroyed the earth. So why would we take counsel and advice from a man to improve the world when he set up to destroy the world? Right? He's set up to destroy the world. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me go to let's go to the book of Revelation. Right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 11. Let's go to Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18. Right? I'm going to get a quick precept. Right? This is Revelation chapter 11 and 18. It reads, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great." Here's the point. "And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Let me read that again. "And the nations were angry." Who are the nations? The nations is everybody outside of Israel that are being affected by the people that are destroying the earth. Who's chiefly destroying the earth? Esau, Edom. Who's the Edomites? The so-called white man, right? Who you know as the Frenchman, the American, the Caucasian, the Anglo-Saxon, the Dutch, right? The Irish. He's an Edomite. He's the people that are destroying the earth. And the nations are angry. Chiefly Israel, man. Right? This AI, this whole spirit of perversion of technology and wisdom is a result of the demonic mind of a devil, man. Like I said, my opinion is that they want to further push man away from Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, and dive in more and more into that systematic control, right, of artificial intelligence, man. Now they want to rewrite the Bible. Now, if they get this thing done and they're going to sell this. This is going to be the big deal. All right, they're going to take, because right now the original Bible is being used pretty much as a weapon. It's being weaponized, allegedly, right? They're saying it's a book of hate speech. It's not up with modern day times. It's too old. Its concepts and philosophies are out of touch with reality and the average American family. It's too violent, right? There's so much backlash with the word of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, that they say, look, the hell with the Lord. We're going to do our own thing. This is equivalent to like the Tower of Babel, in a sense of man coming together to do their own thing. And look at the blasphemy. They want to create religions that are actually correct. Now, let me finish this verse right here, right? This is Revelation. And the world is sick, man. This is, if you can't tell these the last days, I don't know what to tell you. And we're going to keep talking about the last days and the end of the world, man. We're going to keep pushing that end of the world, last days. Keep watching the prophecies, repent, keep the commandments, have faith and get your faith built up in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Love your brother, separate from the world. Right? The Lord says, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, and cause them to be written in paper, but they are faithful and true. So we have to go into this, man. Let me finish this verse, right? And read this again, Revelation 11 and 18. And thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets. So there's a reward for the servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Who's the them? The so-called white man. He has destroyed the earth. Right, now let's pull this up. Right, let's actually kind of go through this. Right, actually, let me get another one. I mean, boy, let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's actually pull this up. Right, let's see if we can pull this up. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Right, I'd rather show the verse on the screen. Chapter 2, and we'll start at verse 3. And I'm gonna go into that article. We're gonna dive into it. This man wants to rewrite the Bible. He has the queer, I believe he has the queer James, the Queen James. He already asked the Queen James. You already asked all these 1,000 translations. They got all types of so-called Bibles, man. But this one, he's going to literally rewrite the whole. See, the other ones were just kind of, they were still wicked, don't get me wrong. But this one, they're going to change everything to make it, they want to correct what the Most High has made a mistake on. So according to Esau, of all people, he's going to check the Most High God. See, according to Esau, the Most High messed up. Right? He made a few mistakes. He didn't think things through. He kind of came up short. This is what Esau said. So Esau, he's the guy. I guess he's the guy to right the wrongs of the living God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And he's allegedly going to right these wrongs, man. And make his own Bible and push it out through the four corners of the earth. Madness. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 2. I'm going to start at 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. So he told the church of Thessalonica, don't be shook, right? The day of the Lord is at hand. You're in the last days. But I'm going to tell you about what you should look out for before the return of Yahushua. And he's about to tell you that. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So he told him, don't let any man deceive you. And where did Paul get this from? The apostle Paul got this from Yahushua. Remember, Yahushua said, take heed that no man deceive you. Let's get that in Matthew 24. That was the first warning that Yahushua gave before he went into the prophecies, right? St. Matthew chapter 24 and 4. It reads, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. That's being warned. Because God forbid the average Israelite is going to say, wow, that's the new Bible. Let's get into that translation. God forbid Jake is on the highways and byways. And I know sometimes Jake, we do it too. We may go into another translation due to the emphasis that it puts in particular words, right? For the audience of our people, we ourselves, we hone in on the KJV, right? Now, God forbid that pastors of the world, deacons, men of the earth, they're going to start using the AI Bible, man. Give me the book of Genesis give me Leviticus 20 and 13 and Leviticus 18 and 22 out the AI Bible. Well, what is that going to say, man? Because you can look those verses up on your own. Yeah, I want Leviticus 18 and 22 out the AI Bible. No, not the KJV. I want out the AI. And I believe as we go into that article, they said that they're going to use, I think, Chat GPT and other types of sorcery. It's a lot of sorcery going on. So you got to make sure that you're not getting deceived, man. Everything's fake here. Everything's artificial. We know the food is artificial. The clouds above your head are artificial. Hey, hell, China made the Moabites, and they're blasphemy. They made an artificial sun. The trees are fake. The eggs and the rice are fake. The cabbage is fake. The food, everything is set up to deceive you and take man away from the reality. Man is being taken away from the works of the living God. Everything that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has made in 6 days, the so-called white man is creating his own. He's making his own world. He's making his own food. They even said now that babies are starting to be grown in laboratories. Let's see if I can pull that up. Not to digress. Right, let me see if I can find this. And they kind of I saw one statement, they said it has to be done. Right? All babies should be born in laboratories. Look at this. Scientists in Japan, and these Moabites, they want to be like the Edomites, believe they will be able to grow babies in a lab, right? So everybody's freaking off, man. Lab grow, everybody wants to do their own thing, right? They want to take man away from the creation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and a so-called white man, he wants to do his own thing, right? He wants to do his own thing. So the Lord said, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And Esau does this too. This isn't talking about a random guy all the time who's sitting out on a corner saying that I'm the Messiah, right? Babylon the Great, they lived this prophecy more than any individual. They say that they're Christ. They're Jesus. They're God. They're a God-fearing nation. They're the Lamb. They have two horns like a lamb. That's Revelation chapter 13 and 11. And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, right? And it had two horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. That's America, who say that they're the Lord, and they're deceiving people. The people are literally being persuaded that this AI Bible, this way of life, is the new thing. It's of God, because America's putting it out, and it's godly, and there's nothing wrong with it. Right? There's nothing wrong with this because this is of God. Now, let's go back to 2 Thessalonians, right? Chapter 2 and 3. Paul warned the church. He said, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. A falling away is our people being fallen away from our heritage, our nationality, our language, being exiled out of our homeland, the great diaspora that scattered us through the four corners of the earth. That's the falling away, right? We fell away from our God. We fell away from the priesthood. So before the Lord returns, that has to happen. There are a plethora of prophecies predicated on Israel being scattered abroad, and not only that, being delivered from the lands that they were scattered to. So we have to have a falling away that all things may be fulfilled. Another major prophecy that has to happen that ties into what we're going into is that what? And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who's the man of sin? The so-called white man. He is the man of sin. He is being revealed as the wicked. He is the one putting sin out on a massive level. He is the one who promotes, who has almost government-funded organizations like NAMBLA, the North American Association for Man-Boy Love. Look it up. That's a real thing. The North American, if I'm pronouncing that acronym, or if I'm getting that acronym right, the North American Association for Man-Boy Love, right? That's the man of sin. The one who has made a month strictly dedicated to sodomy and lewdness and lust, right? The man of sin is the man who has enslaved the Most High's chosen people, who has blasphemed their maker. He is the son of perdition, meaning the son of destruction, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's why he is the one who said that they're going to create a new Bible, because he exalts himself above all that is called God. He wants to put himself above the Most High, above everything that's worshipped. He wants to put himself above that. He wants to show himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. So here's his time right now. His time is the time from the Renaissance, from the mid 1300s, all the way up into the time period we're living in now. That's his time. He was given time to rule the earth. He was loosed for a little season. When you read the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, right? So he's being revealed in his time. And everybody's finding out that this man who portrays himself as being such a godly, pious pope, president, priest, have these religious titles, he's nothing but the wicked, man. Because only the wicked would do such lewdness. Let's actually read this article. So the World Economic Forum calls for artificial intelligence to rewrite Bible, create religions that are quote unquote actually correct. A top official, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, a top official with the World Economic Forum has called for religious scripture to be rewritten by artificial intelligence and to create a globalized new Bible. Right? Now, I don't know how far that means they're going to just do their own thing. They're going to take away Genesis, maybe take away Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, and then replace it the book of man. Right? I can see them having the book of man, or the love of human race, right? The acceptance of religion, right? And it'll go, they got these Georgia Guidestones, right? Where they have their New World Order 10 Commandments, right? East already has that. That's down there in Georgia, right? And they have their commandments about reducing the global population under 500 million. Everybody has to speak one language. So like I said, this goes back to that Tower of Babel kind of deal of man completely going against their maker. They want to globalize. This isn't just for them. They didn't say, okay, I just want this Bible for me and my kids. They say, no, we're going to push this on the earth, right? It's like we're going to push this thing on the earth. Let's read on. Yuval Noah Harari, Salaki, the senior advisor to the World Economic Forum, and its chairman, Klaus Schwab, argues that using AI to replace scriptures will create unified religions that are actually correct. So they want to unify, like I said, that's that Genesis 11 spirit. They want everybody to come together, and all should be one people. Let me go to Genesis the 11th chapter. right? They want all to be one people again, right? And with all nations, languages, and tongues. And that really, before I get that, that goes back to Daniel, the 3rd chapter, right? Because Nebuchadnezzar, he didn't have AI, but he created an image. And everybody on the earth had to bow down to that image and accept that image, man. You know, this is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 3. Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Right? And this was a physical image. Right now, there's a spiritual image that this modern day king of Babylon had set up. It's not an actual image that Esau is creating. He's creating a system. He's creating a way of life. He's creating his own image. And like in the ancient world, princes, governors, captains, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, all of these men bowed down to that image willfully and willingly. No hesitation. Right now, this is happening again. The system is set up. This world of sin, of sodomy, freakism, AI, lies, deceit, madness is being set up. And everybody's bowing down to worship it. But everybody's not going to bow down to this image. When I say everybody, there's going to be a remnant of men that will not bow the knee to Baal. There's always a remnant of people on the earth who are always going to go against the grain of the world. Always. Who did it back then? Enoch. Enoch went against the grain of the world and prophesied against the ungodly and said, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. He went against the grain. The Lord took him. Elijah went against the grain of the world. And everybody bowed the knee to Baal. Elijah said, I myself alone serve the Most High. The Most High said, I have reserved for myself 7,000 men. Let me get that. 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal. So there's always a remnant of men who are going to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. No matter what, the Lord has created them strictly for that purpose. And you are those people. You know, we are those people if we remain faithful unto the end, Lord willing. We're those people that are not going to bow down to the system, right? Who don't accept everything, man. And the Lord said they love not their lives unto death in Revelation chapter 12 and 11. Right? So let me read this. This Revelation chapter, it's like your Romans, chapter 11 and verse 2. Start at 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. Is God cast away his people? Is everybody in the world now? Is everybody bowing down to the system? Did the Lord just do away with the chosen people? There's always a people on the earth that are going to serve the Most High. Even during the time of Moses. What happened when they were worshiping the golden calf that Aaron made? And the children of Israel rose up to eat and drink and play. What did Moses tell them in Exodus, the 32nd chapter? He proclaimed mightily and said, who is on the Lord's side? He said that to the people. Who is on the Lord's side? And all of the children of Levi gathered themselves unto Moses. There's always a people on the Lord's side. So the Lord, as the Lord cast away his people, God forbid, meaning no. Right? Verse 2. The Most High hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not what the scripture saith of Elias? I mean, what, you didn't read the book of Kings? What the Lord told Elijah? How he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. And that happened. You had Jezebel, King Ahab, killing the prophets. You had other prophets like Obadiah feeding hundreds of prophets at one time in a cave. It was bad. They put a hit out on Elijah. Elijah said, I am left alone, and they killed the prophets. They're taking, and think about this now. They have taken away the truth, taken away the name of Yahweh out the earth, taken the name of Yahweh Shai out the earth, taken away the knowledge of repentance, the knowledge of salvation. They have killed the prophets and broken up everything that pertains unto truth. And I am left alone, and they seek my life. That's what Elijah said. Read on. But what said the answer of the Most High to him? Here's what the Most High said. I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So there's always a remnant of men. When you think that you're the only one that's going to serve the Most High, there's more men like you, more men brave like you, righteous, even women, man, sisters who will not bow to this world, who will not move how these women move in the world. They will not bow the knee to Baal. They have weighed this in the balance and have esteemed the reproach of Hamashiach Yahushua far greater riches than Egypt. That's in Hebrews, right? 11, 24 and down. Even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So right now it's almost 7:38 on the East Coast at this present time, June 12th, so-called 2023. There is a remnant of saints according to the election of grace. Back in Daniel, there was a remnant of men according to the election of grace who had not bowed down to this image. Those men, Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael. You may know them as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, their Babylonian names. I don't like to call them by their Babylonian names. I like to call them by the names that Yahweh Bashmi has given them, not the name that the heathen gave, right? Let's read on. Daniel 3 and 4. So they set this image up, just going back to give you the story, this account rather. They set the image up, and all of the sheriffs, let's read this again. Let's break this down in modern times. Then the princes, your princes are your senators, right? Your prime ministers, your presidents. The governors, they have governors here. And the captains, those are men in the military. Your judges, that's your Supreme Court judges, your circuit courts, your local courts, federal courts. Your treasurers, right? Those are people that work for the Mint, the Federal Reserve, right? The counselors, those are your political advisors and political analysts. The sheriffs, that's the police department, the SWAT team, the army, right? Your Navy SEALs, and all the rulers of the provinces. Those are your mayors, your congressmen, your delegates, your aldermen. Everybody in the world were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried out, a herald is a messenger, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. So this thing was global. It wasn't just for everybody within the territory of Babylon. This was for everybody, right? That at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people are going to get down with this system, except the remnant, even your Christians, they're going to fold. In the days of evil, your Muslims, as so-called holy as they seem, bowing down to that rock, they're going to fold. These pedophile Catholic priests, altar boys, and those who worship therein, they're going to fold. Everybody's going to fold, except the elect. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So everybody got down with the program. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, has made a decree that every man shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. So they're about to accuse Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael for not bowing down to this image. We're going to be accused for not getting down with this image. And I'm speaking about the image of the beast, right? The ways of this world, this system. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So we may go back into this chapter, right? But if you haven't read this chapter, I encourage the nation to do so and see the resiliency, right, if that's a word, and the faith of these men, how they were willing to die rather to conform with the ways of this world. Conformity is a real thing, right? Conformity is when you follow the masses of people, right? Compliance with standards, rules, and laws, right? What is conformity? Salakia. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, behavior in accordance with socially accepted conventions, right? Or standards. Basically, you just follow the multitude. You follow the multitude, right? So let's go back to this. They said Yuval and Klaus argues that using AI to replace scriptures will create unified religions that are actually correct. Same thing the Babylonians did. They wanted to unify everybody under one system, right? That's why this is Babylon all over again. What ancient Babylonians did with a physical image, America has done with a spiritual image. Let's get that real quick in Revelation chapter 13, right? This is the book of Revelation chapter 13 and we'll read 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Those miracles is his technology, his Agent Orange, his napalm, his atomic bombs, his nuclear weapons, right? The so-called white man's technology is being called a miracle. Even his AI, that's a miracle. How do you create that? Right? He's getting that power from the spiritual demon Satan. Now you can say, well, no, can you prove that? You weren't there. The so-called white man, he's smart. Why would you say he got it from Satan? He has a degree. Hey, guess what? You're going to figure this thing out sooner or later, that the so-called white man, he's a direct understudy under the spiritual demon Satan. That's his top student. The so-called white man is Satan's top student. He's the valedictorian of demonology, witchcraft, and sorcery. He prevails over the Canaanites. He has taken a crown from the Philistines and all of the ancient wise men of every nation before him. The Assyrians, the wise magicians of Babylon, all of these wicked priests on the left-hand side, the so-called white man is the top of his class in witchcraft, sorcery, and madness. What you call technological advances, the Bible calls sorcery. What you call artificial intelligence and being able to do artificial simulations and deepfakes, the Most High calls that a miracle on the left-hand side. Don't be deceived by the verbiage and by the ways of the beast. That's why I said, let me read this again. It tells you, and deceiveth. Esau's into deception, okay? And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. So they wanted to revive that Roman Empire, that same system, right? That image is not a physical image. It's not a physical sculpture. It's not a physical item that you put in your pocket or you hang on your wall, right? It's not a painting, right? And your image is spiritual. But when somebody tarnishes somebody's image, they don't go to their grandmother's house and spray paint a picture of what they look like. Defamation of someone's character or defamation of their image is you slander and speak ill about what that person stands for, who they are, what the morals are, and really who they serve. So the image to the beast is what the beast represents. Everything in America is what the beast stands for and what they condone and what they represent. This is his image. These sodomite bars, right? The Constitution, artificial intelligence, being a transformer, right? A democracy. All of this goes into this image that he has created. You know, this image had a wound by, this beast had the wound by a sword and did live because they were revived back during the time of the Renaissance. All right. The Western Roman Empire fell around, or really 476 AD by so-called Germanic tribes. So they fell, but they came back into power. All right, when you go deep into that history. But let's read on. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. See that? So how does the so-called white man give life unto the image of the beast? Well, you see his image portrayed by his works, right? When you see federal buildings and bars where you could be a sodomite, or you see clubs where you could freak off, or you see churches of Christianity, that's him giving life unto his ideas and his image. What he stands for, he creates it, if that makes sense. So this is the creation, this is his image. And what Esau is doing is he's making man in his own image. He's going to, this is him playing God. Before he even said, I want to rewrite the Bible, he knows that the Most High made man in his own image, right? After his own likeness. Genesis chapter 1 and 26. And God, right, really the Elohim, right, the powers, Yahweh Shine angels, said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he them. So now Esau's doing this. He's making man in his own image. He's making man to be like him. Because the image of God is truth, righteousness, order, piety, holiness, godliness. Man was created with the ability to move in the spirit of their maker and to be obedient unto laws and structure, commandments and statutes that their maker has given them. We're made in the image of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. We're made with the ability to stand for what God stands for. This is why we hate what the Most High hates. We love what the Most High loves. Right? So your image is not physical. The likeness is physical. Because yeah, we have shoulders, we have arms, okay, we have a head, we have eyes and a mouth. That's what likeness is talking about. Right? Your bodily structure, your members. Your image is talking about really what you stand for. You know? Now, what is Esau doing? He's making man in his own image now. And even after his own likeness. Man is bleaching their skin. Man is getting blonde hair. Man is getting surgery. Man is cutting their body all up. Man is getting body modifications. And man is living like the beast. And he's causing this beast to speak through the media, right? Through his sorcery, through his lies. And if you don't get down with this system back then and then the days to come, you're going to get your head chopped off. There's going to be men who are going to be willing to be beheaded rather than serve this system. Now, let's go back to this. I want to finish this. Okay, is this where we were at? Okay, let's read on. Harari, right, for those just coming in, this is WEF calls for AI to rewrite Bible, create religions that are actually correct. So let's jump down. Look at these guys. Right? And it's supposed to be somebody. All right, let's read on. Harari, if I'm pronouncing that right, an influential author, and professor, made the call while giving a talk on the future of humanity. Right? So Esau is giving a talk on the future of humanity. Right? Unbelievable. According to Harari, the power of AI can be harnessed and used to reshape spirituality into the World Economic Forum's globalist vision of equity and inclusivism. Well, that goes right into what we read. This is literally Revelation, the 13th chapter. Right? They want to reshape spirituality into their vision, their image, their idea. Right? This is biblical. Like we brought out earlier, everything you see going on is in the Bible. All right? Everything. Now, why would they have to reshape spirituality? Well, what does it mean to even be spiritual? Last time I checked, in Romans 7:14, it says, for the law is spiritual. Right? Let's actually get that. So they want to reshape spirituality. Right? And that's a word that man just uses. I'm spiritual. Right? Or I'm just a spiritual person. I don't believe in God, but I'm spiritual. I believe in a higher power, and I'm spiritual. Right? Spirituality, in its proper sense, is you being inspired by Yahweh Bashmiah Washai. The word inspired means to have breath inside you. The Lord breathing on you. The Lord give you the Holy Spirit. Like the Lord formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Man became animated. Man became spiritual. And then man received the law, and the law is spiritual. All right? The law is spiritual. Now let's get that in Romans 7:14. It reads, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. So if anybody's going to try to redefine spirituality, I know what they're saying in a sense, right? To the average man, they're thinking, okay, they want to redefine spirituality. So they must be talking about those who are into crystals and those who are into stones and those who may be into Taoism and Tai Chi. And that's what the average Joe is thinking about. Oh, they just want to make us all, redefine spirituality. No, they want to push man away from Yahweh. At the end of the day, they want man to be driven away from God, right? To be exiled. And further, see, Esau's job is to keep man away from the tree of life. I don't know if anybody told you, but the so-called white man really only has two purposes on the earth. He was only created for two reasons. He wasn't created to reign forever. He wasn't created to be the Most High God. He wasn't created to enforce wicked laws on the earth. Right? We're going to give you the inside scoop. The so-called white man was created for two purposes. Number one, to be the wicked and take man away from the truth. That's what you see right now. Number two, he's created to be destroyed. Those are his only two purposes: to be the wicked and take man away from God. And after he's done that, put him in slavery and destroy him. Right? That's his purpose. But he won't tell you that. and his anthropology schools and a study of man and a history of man. Right? He won't tell you that, man. So he wants to redefine spirituality, which means he wants to define the law. Reshape the law. Where the Lord said that a man must lay down with a woman, he wants to reshape that. Now, I don't even know what his vision is. Look at his vision. We know, we know his vision. Look at this madness. According to it's a Harari, the power of AI can be harnessed. Now, that sounds off. And used to reshape spirituality into the WEF's globalist vision of equity and inclusivism. So what does the so-called white man know about true equity? Right? Because equity, biblically, from a king and a priest's mind, is justice. Right? When equity is when something is out of order and you take the laws and commandments to provide a balance to this situation and to rectify what was wrong and to make things just according to the laws of the Most High God. That's equity. All right, now we'll show you that. He wants to redefine equity. Let's go to Proverbs, the first chapter. All right, so equity is when things are out of balance due to chaos, confusion, the natural sinful ways of man. You come with law and order and you provide equality, right? According to the commandments and wisdom of the Most High God. Proverbs chapter 1:1. But he wants to reshape equity. This is sick. This is madness, right? This is madness if I've ever seen it. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. And equity. Let's go into this word equity. Right, so that's what Proverbs are for. Proverbs is for a wise man to receive wisdom, justice, right? Wisdom is the fear of the Most High and the keeping of the commandments. Justice is enforcing laws and commandments. You understand? When things are wrong or things are out of whack, for lack of better terms. Judgment is a decision that you make based off of righteousness and based off of the laws and commandments. That's judgment. And equity is to provide stability to a situation that was once out of order. Now here's let's get this word equity. Okay, equity, evenness, uprightness, straightness, level, smoothness. Right? Like you might have a guy who's mad that somebody stole his ox back in the ancient world, right? Equity would be going into the law and saying, well, look, you're supposed to give this guy a certain amount of your oxen for this ox. So now this guy's no longer mad. He was up here, but now he's kind of level-headed. You have provided righteousness and stability. And this guy who went off, he's pushed to be righteous to restore what he stole. So now you have provided a balance. One guy was wicked, he has performed righteousness. One guy was done wrong in wickedness, but he's being pushed to righteousness from another individual. That's equity, right? When you provide order, right? Here's another one: agreement, a right that are equal, right? So let's go back to this. The so-called white man, I guess he has his own vision of equity. We know what his vision of equity is, right? And inclusivism. This inclusivism is a bugged out way or a fancy way of saying you can just do what you want to do. Everybody could just do what they want to do. So this Bible that they want to create is a do as thou wilt. Let's pull up the definition of inclusivism. Right? Let's pull this up. Inclusivism the practice of trying to incorporate diverse or unreconciled elements into a single system. Right? So basically, everybody's one. Right? You could be a guy that hates murder, and you could live, and you have to include, and you could be living next to a guy who doesn't like murder. A Muslim could live with a Nuwapian. A Nuwapian could live with a Christian. An Israelite can live with an Amalekite, and everybody can serve their own God and do what they want to do. You know, one of the ancient kingdoms that fell that did that were the Persians. The Persians had a very inclusivism spirit, where you could pretty much do what you want to do. Not like the Babylonians. The Babylonians, you had to serve Nebuchadnezzar, right? Merodach Baladan, Nebuchadnezzar, right? Nabonidus, right? All of these kings, Belshazzar, you had to serve. When the Persians came into power, I mean, you could pretty much do what the hell you wanted to do. They actually restored a lot of the temples and so-called places of worship that the Babylonians had. And they allowed, remember, they even allowed Israel to go back and build the temple. They said, hey, look, the God of heaven has told me to, Joshua, Zerubbabel, y'all can go back. You know, they allowed Nehemiah, Ezra. So this is like a revived Persian empire, because the Persians were heavy into that. Right, let me see if I can actually find that. Let's see, Persian Empire. I'll see if I can do tolerance. See that? Strengthening the empire. See, I keep zooming in. Cyrus's policy of tolerance toward the conquered allowed local peoples to maintain their languages, traditions, and religions, which in turn allowed Persian culture to benefit from a truly global exchange. And this is similar to what we're reading about. Right? They want everybody, you can kind of all be inclusive. Everybody do their own thing to maintain order. All right? So let's go back to this. Okay, speaking with journalist Pedro Pinto in Lisbon, Portugal, Harari told the elitist audience it's the first technology ever that can create new ideas. You know, the printing press, radio, television, they broadcast, they spread the ideas created by the human brain, by the human mind. They cannot create a new idea. So this is off, man. This whole, like I said, this is taking the people of the Most High and the earth further away from the Most High. All right. You know, Johannes Gutenberg printed the Bible in the middle of the 15th century. The printing press printed as many copies of the Bible as Gutenberg instructed it, but it did not create a single new page. Well, I wonder why it didn't create a new page. And because guys back then had integrity, right? Guys back then, and people had integrity right there, right? They actually had some type of reverence for the Lord. So that's why they didn't create a new page. Even a lot of these bugged out translations, there's no Revelation 23rd chapter. Even in the NIV, they have at least some type of decency. Yeah, they switch words around and change definition. They took some verses out. We get it. I know they took out Matthew 18:11. They switched up Revelation 22 and I believe that's 22 and 14 and a lot of other verses. But they didn't even add another chapter in the Bible. They didn't take away Genesis completely. But this guy, he's feeling himself, man. Right? He said they didn't create a single new page. Let's read on. It had no ideas of its own about the Bible. Is it good? Is it bad? How to interpret this? How to interpret that? Harari then revealed that he and his allies at the WEF, that's the World Economic Forum, have a solution to the supposed problems he had just enlightened. AI can create new ideas. It can even write a new Bible, he declared. So that's what they want to do. That's their MO. The World Economic Forum says that they want to create a new Bible. That means that means they're going to get rid of everything in the old Bible, or the current Bible, should I say. No more Genesis, no Torah, no prophets, no writings, no Psalms, no history, no epistles, right? None of that. No Apocrypha. It's going to be probably 66 books of evil, man. With all types of sorcery in it. And people are going to accept this new Bible. And this Bible that you have now, right? This Bible is going to become obsolete, right? This Bible right here, they're going to fade this thing out, man. Because this thing brings too much, this is what they say, too much confusion on the earth, too much hate speech, right? Too much righteousness at the end of the day, right? You had a Bible that was banned in, I believe that was Colorado, Nevada, one of those states. They actually banned Utah. I think they banned the Bible out there. But I bet they'll accept that AI Bible. They might make that part of the curriculum. They'll bring the Bible back in school, but they won't bring this Bible back, right? Your father's Bible. But they'll bring Esau's Bible in this thing. All right, they'll have their own creation. In the beginning was the Big Bang, right? And they'll superimpose wicked philosophies into the Word of God, right? So AI can create new ideas. It can even write a new Bible, he declared. Throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book, right, written by a superhuman intelligence. Well, what religions dreamt about that? So Esau's such a bugged out serpent. I haven't heard of any so-called religion who's came out and said, or in their text, that they dreamt and prophesied about a superhuman intelligence. He's just making stuff up, man. Right? I mean, you roll down the religions. What religion said they dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence? So this is madness. Right? Madness. It's not enough, even at the Ishmaelites. Right? Those people, man. They don't even, they didn't dream of that. And they're wicked. The rat-eating Moabite, the water rat-eating Moabite, who eats mice out of walls and dogs, you know, and pushes them in a shopping cart and eats them and cooks them in a wok. They didn't even dream about that. The Hamite, who don't know his left hand between his right hand, who still clicks with his tongue to communicate like a beast. They're not even thinking about that. These surfing, hula hooping, grass wearing Japhites, Hawaiians, they didn't even think about that, man. I can't think of that one nation who has records of antiquity saying that they dreamt about having a book written by superhuman intelligence or by a non-human entity. Let's move on. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. Just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an artificial intelligence. That could be a reality in a few years, right? Let's read on a little bit. Now they're kind of getting into detail about it. Harari noted in another recent gathering that software like ChatGPT has mastered human languages and can harness that function to influence culture, the Times of Israel said. For thousands of years, prophets right? For thousands of years, prophets and poets and politicians have used language and storytelling in order to manipulate and to control people and to reshape society. Well, this is hypocritical, right? Because isn't he about to do the same damn thing, right? To manipulate. So he's pretty much saying, I want to manipulate human society. They did it. I want to do it. Right? So this is why the so-called white man has to go, man. Right? For thousands of years. This is madness. Now AI is likely able to do it. And once it can, it doesn't need to send killer robots to shoot us. Right? It can get humans to pull the trigger. This thing is getting dark. Right? Harara, now he's really revealing himself. You know, this is my first time reading this article. I'm kind of reading it, kind of going through this together. Right? I didn't read this in advance. You know, I kind of pulled it up. I saw it. I think Yardan sent it or brother sent it. I kind of pulled it up. Right? So this thing is getting dark. Harari also said that contrary to what some conspiracy theories assume, you don't really need to implant chips in people's brains in order to control them or to manipulate them, the paper noted, right? He also warned that we need to act quickly before AI gets out of our control, and that governments must immediately ban and release into the public domain of any more revolutionary AI tools before they are made safe. Right? So I may not read this whole article, right? But long story short, man, he's calling for a rewrite on the Bible. Right? He's calling for a massive rewrite on the Bible. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. Right? Let's go to Isaiah. Actually, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28. Ezekiel chapter. So, I mean, we're not surprised, right? Am I surprised? No, not really, right? Why? Because it's Esau. And we always say this amongst each other. And I know brothers say this. They say, well, look, we look at what I'm sure you've thought of this. You look at what the so-called white man is doing on the earth and what he is allowing to be legal and what he is normalizing. And you ask yourself the question, so what else could this devil do? He has legalized that. He has made it okay for a man to do this and for a woman to do this and for a man to get pregnant. Well, how can he top himself? How can he one-up himself? And then what? He always seems, and it's by the Spirit of the Most High, he always one-ups himself, and now he's going to create the Bible with AI. Well, what is he going to do after that? Because according to the scriptures, he's never satisfied. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, it says, he is not satisfied, paraphrasing. You know? And this is Ezekiel chapter 28 and 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of tyrants, Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of the Most High in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. See that? So this, even though it says the prince of tyrants, or although it says that, it's really a dark saying, right? Or a parable speaking about the so-called white man, who says that he is a God, who's going to add and take away from the word, who sits in the seat of the Most High. He's the Pope, he's the priest, who you confess your sins to, in that nasty hot box, right? He is your deacon and your leaders of your church. He's your church fathers. He's the one rewriting the Bible. And he has set his heart as the heart of the Most High. You see that? So this man has always had that God complex. Let's pull that up. What is a God complex? A God complex. Be able to pull this up. Let's see. is an unshakable belief characterized by consistently inflated feelings of personal ability, privilege, and infallibility, right? A person with a God complex may refuse to admit the possibility of their error or failure, even in the face of irrefutable evidence. So that sounds like Esau, right? He will never admit his errors and his failures, even though the Bible tells you so, right? Even though the scriptures tell you America is going to be destroyed, even though it says Babylon the Great is going to be on fire, even though it says what's going to happen if you live your life at, like it says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah were set up as an example. Even if it tells you, if you pattern your life after cultures that were destroyed by sin, you're going to get that same destruction. Time after time, the so-called white man has had the proof in his face, man, that his life, his society, what he stands for is off and it will fail. But he says, no, I can get this done. We're going to do this. It says somebody with a godlike complex, it says, even in the face of irrefutable evidence. Even if Jeremiah told you, you wouldn't believe it. Even if Isaiah said it, right? Our king, Hamashiach Malak Yahushua, even if he said it. See, somebody with a God complex, no matter what you tell them, it can be irrefutable. They're going to go with it, right? That's madness, right? So this is what they plan on doing. I had another article. It's pretty much saying the same thing, right? We pulled this up. And there's another Bible they wanted to make. It was a, man, this was madness. It was it PETA? Let's see if we can get this. See that? PETA, that's, let me pull that up, that acronym. Salakia. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. PETA used artificial intelligence, chatbot, to rewrite the Bible's book of Genesis. So PETA's doing it. The World Economic Forum is doing it. Everybody's rewriting the Bible. They're using artificial intelligence to make their own Bible, to say that they are God, and they sit in the temple of the Most High. Right? Everybody's doing it now. PETA used artificial intelligence chatbot Chat GPT to rewrite the Bible's book of Genesis. That's wicked. Let's go to the book of Revelation. That's just outright wicked, man. What is PETA doing rewriting the book of Genesis? Let's go to Revelation chapter 22 and verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. So if you alter the book of Genesis, the Most High is going to give you the plagues written in this book. Famine, death, destruction. Right? What are the plagues? What are the plagues that they're going to get for adding and taking away from the holy word? Right? Let's pull this up in the Apocrypha. What are they going to get, man? Let's go to 2nd Ezra. We brought this out. We brought it out at camp. Right? We're going to bring it out again. 15. I believe I want 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 to 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So if you want to know the plagues that are written in this book, they're explained, the 4 kinds. The sword, which is war, being shot, stabbed, and thrust through. Famine, starving to death and pining away when the economy collapses and there's no food. Death, rather that's heart attacks, torn by wild beasts, right? And destruction. You choose one, man. Pick and choose, right? They tell you right here, Revelation 22, the Lord, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. Revelation 22 and 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. The Lord said also in Proverbs, add thou not to his words. Right, Salakia. Lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Proverbs chapter 30 and 5. Every word of the Most High is pure. So you don't have to add to Genesis. You don't have to take away from the first book of the Bible. You don't have to make your own Bible. Everything is perfect. Right? From end to amen. Right? From the beginning to the end. Every word of the Most High is pure. When the Most High said that you're supposed to serve the Most High with all your heart and your mind and your soul, that's pure. That's perfect. When the Lord said that the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul, and Psalms 19 and 7, that's perfect. When the Most High said that if you hate your brother, you're a murderer, that's perfect. In the beginning, right, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Guess what? That is pure and perfect. In Psalms chapter 12 and 6 on down, it says that the word is so pure, it's like going through the fire 7 times. Let me get that real quick. That's how pure and perfect this word is. Let's go to Psalms chapter 12, right? Psalms chapter 12 and verse 6. The words of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. So this has been mastered by the Most High God, thoroughly vetted and perfected by the Most High. So for man to go in there and think you know more than the Most High is going to cut you down. That's proud. That's being proud. Right? So Esau must have pure words. His words must be purified 8 times. Right? That's madness, man. Outright evil. Proverbs 30 and 5 again. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. And Esau is going to be found a liar, and anyone else that adds or takes away from the word, right? I'm going to pull this back up. Where's this PETA? Oh, boy, bear with me. Thought I had it pulled up. Okay, let's pull this back up. PETA AI Bible. Okay. It kind of changed it. All right. Put this. Okay, PETA used artificial intelligence, chatbot GPT, and this stuff can get crazy because they can hack into a video. I just thought about they could kind of change your words around and make you say something that you're not saying, but they could look like you and it could use your voice. So they could alter this video and see that brothers are actually saying things that they're not saying. And it could look just like me and it could sound like me. You know, I don't know the depths of how that thing goes, but man, I know, you know, these devils, they plotting and planning, right? So they use Chat GPT to rewrite the Bible's book of Genesis into a modern, cruelty-free version filled with vegan teachings. The message in the original book of Genesis is that the Most High created every sentient being. He saw that they were good and he gave them greens for sustenance. It don't say the Most High gave them greens, right? Let me see this stuff. This is madness. I didn't really thoroughly go through this as well, right? But let me see this. Look at this madness. Okay, in the book, PETA's version of the creation story, That's what it's called. And people are going to buy this. This isn't a joke. You know, people are going to buy this. Salakia. They're going to look into it. They're going to add it. You know, it's going to be in a Kindle. It's going to be in an Amazon books to order, right? And the book, PETA's version of the creation story, animals are referred to as beings rather than beasts or creatures, right? And plant fibers like hemp and bamboo are used to replace of animal skins and clothing. And PETA's version, no one with any fashion or moral sense will wear animal skins in the 21st century. Y'all wonder how they break down Genesis, the 3rd chapter, when the Most High gave unto Adam coats of skin for animal. How do they deal with the animal sacrifices of Noah and Abraham? How do you go into the book of Genesis, the 8th chapter, where the Most High used Noah to offer up clean animals on the altar? Man, how do you deal with Genesis, the 13th chapter? How do they reconcile those things? Right? Among other new interpretations in Genesis, and I'm gonna prove that. Let's go to Genesis, the 8th chapter, because this is madness. All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 8. So everybody wants to take away from the Bible, right? This is the book of Genesis 8 and 20. It reads, and Noah builded an altar unto the Lord and took of every clean beast, they would say clean beings, and every clean fowl and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And see, and the Lord like that, man. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. And we see that now. Man's imagination being evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite anymore every living thing as I have done. So they're going to alter everything, but there are certain things that you can't change, right? Among other new interpretations, in Genesis chapter 22, Abraham travels to the land of Moriah and befriends a gentle lamb. Where is that at in the scriptures? Where Abraham befriended a gentle lamb, right? That's not biblical. Give me the account where Abraham befriends a gentle lamb. Right? Let's read on. Abraham befriends. I wonder how did that go? How did that interaction work? Befriends a gentle lamb to show his reverence and respect for the Most High's creation, rather than slaughtering a ram to demonstrate his faith. This was updated because it is a form of oppression, much like human sacrifice, which was once a reality and is now outlawed all over the world. So this kingdom has to go. I mean, it has to go. I mean, when is the so-called white man going to stop? When is he going to say enough is enough? Abraham befriended a lamb. When is he going to just call it quits, man? The Bible has long been used to justify all forms of oppression. So we've used Chat GPT, right, to make it clear that a loving God would never endorse exploitation. Right? These words, man, the so-called white man's a damn devil. Right? So now the Most High endorses exploitation. Right? He's exploiting. So Noah exploited the animals. Right? And Abraham exploited the animals. But this is mind-blowing. Right? He's such a serpent, his words that he's using. The Most High's into animal sacrifice, man. How do you think the Levites and the priests, how do you even think Adam was able to make reconciliation for his sins? The Most High gave Adam, he gave him a priesthood, for lack of better terms, right? And Adam was a priest on behalf of his family. And Adam had to do these offerings when he went off. Abel had to do these offerings when he went off. Nobody's exploited. I don't even have to explain this, but just for the average, for somebody who's new and they may not know what's going on, animal sacrifice is an integral part of Hebrew Israelite lifestyle, culture, laws, and commandments. Okay, but this is such an effeminate society. Everything is backwards, right? When you go to Genesis, the 4th chapter, and I want to get into this so-called UFO crashing too, right? Let me see where I'm at with time. Okay, Genesis chapter, time is flying. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 4. I'm gonna kind of get straight to the point. And Abel, he also brought up the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And what happened? And the Lord had respect unto Abel and unto his offering. So the Lord respects when you offer up that firstling of the flock and the fat thereof. That goes back to Numbers, the 18th chapter, right? The firstling of a cow or your calf has to go to the Most High. And this is an offering to make reconciliation for a man's sins. So who the hell is the so-called white man to go up there and say he's exploiting the animals? These nations, they're going to have animal sacrifice done for them in the kingdom. Animal sacrifice will always be here, right? It will always be here. The law of sacrifice it doesn't just vanish away. All right, let's go back to this. All right, let's read a little bit more. The Bible has long been used to justify all forms of oppression. So hold on. So see, Esau, if you're going to speak about this, why don't you speak about how the so-called white man used the Bible to oppress Israel? But that shows you that they don't care about you, Jakes, man. They don't care about you. They care about their dogs and lambs and beasts more than you. They're going out of their way to make a new Bible because of the oppression and the exploitation of an animal. What about the Negro in America? On the south side of Chicago, on the west side of Detroit, in Miami and LA, whose mother's on crack, right? Whose father is out the house, right? Whose wife is about to abort his son. What about that guy? What about the so-called El Salvadorian or Nicaraguan who's on the border right now, living somewhere in the open field, trying to survive and get to America, but being taken captive and lost by the American government? Right? What about that? What about that type of exploitation? Like I said, well, that's PETA. They don't get involved with humans. Well, their mind shows you, where they're at, man. Right? Let's read on. It only took, here's what they said, it only took the Most High. It took the Most High only 6 days to create the entire world. But we realized it would take us years to rewrite the whole Bible, which is why we started with just the first book. This is getting mad. This is madness. This is blasphemy. Right? This is outright blasphemy. So they're going to start with Genesis, then they're going to move their way up. All right, then they're going to work their way up in Exodus. Then they're going to work their way up, right, all the way into the book of Leviticus. I mean, they're going to have to destroy the first 9 chapters of Leviticus. If they're going to go that route, it's going to take them years. So they just going to start with the first book, like it's normal, like it's just a normal thing. Oh, we're just going to start with the first book. And who's their president? Who is this person? Ingrid Newkirk. Who is this person? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Right? What is this, a transformer? This makes perfect sense. So she's running the show. Or he. They're given a green light. Right? And of course it's an Edomite. Of course it's an Edomite. She looked like that thing that they found in that backyard, that alleged, right? It wasn't an alien, that alien in the back. We're going to get into it, that alien they found in the backyard. She looked like that thing, man. Right? Now, let's move on. Let's go back to this. right? So this is the one given a green light to kind of change up the Bible a little bit. If you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about. Now let's go back. Now I'm not going to read everything because it's turning into madness. So Abraham and Sarah, they adopted a dog. All right, they added to their family. They got Herbie, right? They adopted Herbie. Okay, as they walk, here's the scripture. As they walk with Herbie, and don't worry about uncovering your head. If you a sister, oh, I gotta put my head covering on. No, we'll read. This is not the Bible, right? Oh, you brother, let me make sure I take my hat off. That's not what this is. As they walk with Herbie, Sarah and Abraham thought on the importance of adopting. See, this is madness. I'm never going to read all of this, right? I'm not going to read all of this. This is just sick. And I wonder what they said about swine. All right, so yeah, this is Esau. They got the Chat GPT rewriting the Bible, right, with no exploitation. And then you have Esau from the World Economic Forum said they're going to use AI to rewrite the Bible. So everybody's taking their hit and rewriting the Bible. So as they push out the holy text and the scriptures, now they're talking about Herbie, right? What? Give me the book and the account of Herbie. All right, so this is madness, man. They're adding and taking away from the word. It's just outright blasphemy. Now, another thing we want to get into, right? This is a video. Right. This is what they say, right? Footage. Hold on, let me see. Might not be able to hear the sound. I don't think I sound up. Let me see if I can go back. And hold on. Let me see this real quick. Okay, I want to add this. All right, now this is from footage from the backyard of a Las Vegas UFO crash. And I'm gonna tell you something straight up and down. The chariots of the Most High, that's what they call a UFO. They don't crash. They don't run out of gas. They don't fall asleep behind the wheel. They don't need premium. They don't need brake pads. They don't go off a course. So if don't believe anybody's saying the chariots of the Most High crashed or the angel. Well, how did it crash? Would it fall asleep? The angel fell asleep. They ran out of gas. They swerved. It was angel traffic. And one angel was kind of riding and he didn't look out the rearview mirror. He tried to merge into a lane, but another angel came and kind of side swiped him. So that angel and his chariot, he started spinning, but he was calling up to Michael, the archangel, saying, I'm going down. Tell the Most High I'm going down. And then Michael said, look, be calm. And the angel said, I'm going down. I'm in Vegas. And Michael said, like, I'm going to come down. And then he said, that never happened, man. Right? There's no, I can't think of the name of the people, though, where the truck drivers call to the home base and the angels check in, man. So now they got footage in the backyard from a UFO crash from May 1st. Right? This is mad. This is madness. This world is finished, man. I hate this place. So let's play this. Kind of get into the scripture. Right, let me know if you can hear it. Right, you should be able to hear it. Right, let me know if you can hear it. All right, the damn chariot crashed. I got a lot of brothers kind of losing faith. Oh, well, how are we going to get beamed up? Right? How are we going to make it out of here? What if they crash when the missiles come? What if they crash when the Yahweh Shah returns? What if there's too many? If that's your look, stop thinking the chariot can crash. Are you sure? Yes, we're sure. Right? We have no doubt in our mind. We are fully convinced, as the grass is green, as the sky is blue, that the chariots they don't crash. And then the angel, he don't get out the chariot and kind of sneak around in the backyard, man. Try to figure this thing out. So hold on, let me play one more time. Look like, hold on, let me go back one more time. Now I don't speak Spanish, I'm not sure what they said. If you speak Spanish and you can kind of interpret it, you know, you kind of watching it, you can kind of say, give us a summary about what they're saying, right? But I can't really call it. Man, this is my first time seeing this. There's another video. I'm watching this one, and there's another video. They allegedly saw something in somebody's backyard too. But now they said a UFO crash, and I'm gonna see if I can get that video of the UFO allegedly crashing. Not even allegedly. Whatever they saw, and they charged it, the Most High with folly with the chariot crash, and I'm gonna pull that up too. Right? So let's finish this. So she's telling them to be careful and be quiet. Okay, all praises, right? We got the gift of the tongues, right? Now, an angel has no need to hide. The angel don't got nothing to hide. The angel is not ashamed of being an angel. He's not. If the angel wanted to hide from you, they'll hide from you. The angel don't have to hide behind a forklift, man, and sneak around. You think an angel got to sneak around and hide from man? The angels could be invisible, right? The angels could teleport. The angel don't have to hide behind a forklift, man, and creep around. And his heart, the angel heart ain't pounding through his chest. Because the angel, guess what? He don't have bodily organs. He's not man. He's not thinking like a man would think, like a thief would think. As if the angel is sitting around trying not to get caught. Not making too much noise. You know? Rewind this a little bit. We want to show you about the chariots too. Damn, I didn't mean to go far that back. Let me fast forward a little bit. You can't even see nothing. Right? If that's the video, you can't see nothing. Right? It says it shows somebody hiding behind a forklift. Right? And this is another one. Watch alien footage from Las Vegas UFO landing. On duty area, Las Vegas police captured clear dash footage of the flying UFO aircraft. And then this is what they saw.
there's like an alien beside it, and another, and it hides and looking at still there.
Okay, where's on your property?
Yeah, he's too relaxed. And this isn't real. This is not, there's no, I'm gonna say this, there's no such thing as aliens. Right? Let's put this out there, man. We don't have to go into that, but you have Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, you have man, right? You have woman, you have beast, you have cattle, you have creeping things, you have fowls of the air, right? It's as simple as that. There's no extra being that the Most High have made, all right? There's no extra being that Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai has created, man. Because remember, when we go back to Genesis, the first chapter, man's purpose is to have dominion. Right? Let's read that. Genesis 1:26. See, man is the top creation of the Most High. When you read the book of Psalms, which we'll get into, Lord willing, man is even a little lower than the angels. Right? Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. So we were given a dominion. We were given rulership and sovereignty. This whole earth was made for us. Everything you see was made for the Israelites' sakes. The world was made for our sakes. Right? And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So man has dominion. Man is the top creation outside of the angels. All right? This is Psalms chapter 8 and verse 4. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. So the Most High don't have some superior being over man when man is just a tad bit lower than the angels, the Israelite man. All right, we got beards, we got the same brown skin like the angels, right? We can do divine things. You understand? We can actually rebuke an angel on the left hand side. I'll say, like if a demon come to you, you can get on the demon. We have power over demons to exorcise evil spirits, to cast them out, and demons are angels. So man can Jacob wrestled an angel. We can rebuke an angel. So man is more the Israelite man is more powerful than just dunking the basketball and running fast. Remember, the Most High called us a peculiar people, right? And it's not just we rap. We're peculiar because we make the best music and soul food. No, we're peculiar. Let's read this, right? For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. What makes us peculiar? The fact that we have a God and nobody else does. We have Yahweh. We have Yahweh Shai. We have angels that are camped round about us. We can pray and make petitions to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. We have chariots that surround us wherever we go. That's what makes us peculiar. We have a Holy Spirit. We have special gifts. We have things that nobody else can do. It's not just being athletic and running fast. We're peculiar because we are a people that are literally created to serve the Most High God. And everything that's heavenly was given to help us in this course of life in the land of the living. And everybody else was made to be under us. So when man says there's some superhuman or super being above man, they don't understand the power that Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai has given the Israelite man. Oh, there must be something stronger than man out there. What if it comes out and harvest our organs? And what if that's not going to happen? Are you sure? Are you sure it's not going to happen? But yes, brother, we're sure. Because I did see that. Look, well, brother, if you're talking about this video, that's a hoax. That's like saying I saw the Loch Ness. That's as real as Bigfoot. That's as real as the abominable snowman and the Yeti in the Himalayan mountains. If you believe that, you might as well go believe in Sasquatch. you know, and Nessie. Right, so let's go back to this. Damn chariot. The chariots don't crash. The works of the Most High are perfect. The Lord hath made, Ecclesiastes 3:11, he hath made everything beautiful in his time. You know, when you read about the chariots, let's go to Ezekiel real quick, chapter 10. Right, this is Ezekiel chapter 10 and verse 10. I'm going to start at 9. Ezekiel 10 and 9. And when I looked, behold, the four wheels, and we just did a cold cut on the chariots. It's called Everything and Anything You Need to Know About UFOs, right? So if you want a more deep, in-depth understanding on the chariots, I encourage brothers to actually check that video out as we dive deep into it, right? Ezekiel 10 and 9. And when I looked, behold, the four wheels by the cherubims, and one wheel by one cherub. So a cherub is just used in this context as a spirit or angel. This wheel is really talking about a chariot. What we call a chariot, the world calls a UFO. Okay, now it's called a wheel, Slakia, because of the spinning fashion of the vehicle, right? And it's shaped like a wheel. So Esau's concept of an unidentified flying object goes back to the Bible, right? And it is identified. Brothers say an IFO, right? They're literally called, they go by many names in the Bible: the clouds, whirlwind, chariots, sometimes star, right? In the book of Matthew or Numbers, right? They have wheels, you know? So Ezekiel saw a chariot. He saw one, and it was spinning in its particular motion, right? And he's describing it as he watches the glory of God. And when I looked and behold, the four wheels by the cherubims, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was as the color of a beryl stone. So the chariots had the color of a beryl stone. So you can kind of spot it out. Let's pull up beryl stone. Right? What color? It's like I want beryl stone. Okay, this is the color of beryl stone. That's what color the chariot is. Like a dark green, right? With like a dark tint behind it. You know? That's the kind that Ezekiel saw. Right? Now, are there more? We don't know. All we know is what's written. That the chariot that he saw was the color of a beryl stone. So he saw this thing up close. He didn't have an iPhone to record it. There's no footage behind it. But we envision this in the spirit. We can see what Ezekiel saw in the spirit through faith. All right? Let's read on. And as for their appearance, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. So that's that flying saucer. One part spins like this, and another one on the outside, it spins in like fashion. All right. When they went upon their four sides. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither their head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. So these cherubims, these spirits, they didn't turn when they went because they had four faces, right? And their whole body and their backs and their hands and their wings and the wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. So when you look at that chariot, let's pull up that UFO again, what they call a UFO. All right. Let's pull this up again. It said it had full of eyes. Those are these different lights that he saw, right? Like little windows or little lights that he saw. That's why he said full of eyes. And that represents the all-seeing nature of Yahweh Bashem Shai and his dominion over the seven spirits. Omniscient, all right? He's all-seeing. That's why all of the angels are full of eyes and the chariots was full of eyes. And what did Ezekiel do? As for the wheels, it was cried to them in my hearing, O will. So the angels cried out and said, O will. So they're the wheels of the Lord, or the chariots of the Most High God. Right? In Daniel 7, it says his wheels were like a burning fire. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. So Daniel saw the Most High sit on his throne with his woolly hair, all white garment on, and his excellent Most High majesty. His throne was like the fiery flame, and what? And his wheels as burning fire. Like Ezekiel saw, a whirlwind came out of the north with a great fire enfolding itself. All right. So let's go back to this. So they said this chariot crashed, and this is what they saw. Let's play this.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it.
And he's kind of too calm. Somebody's in this suit. You know, they got all this green screen and filters on the camera lens, and people are trying to make a name for themselves. That's all it is. They're trying to capitalize off of the chariot sightings and what the Navy is putting out there in the government, and people just want to make a name for themselves. That's all it is. They want to be invited on the Today Show. They want to come on Good Morning America. They want to speak about what they saw. They want to have their views, and that's all this is, right? You got brothers saying, no, that's an alien. That's an Ark. That came out the cherry, because you got to think about it. When you go to the book of, no, that's garbage. All right.
And another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us. And it's
But you know, people will believe this. I guarantee there are millions of people that believe this on the earth. You know, that actually believe that the 8-foot green Martian came down and is on all fours in some guy's backyard in Vegas.
still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes,
Okay.
like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're tiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% not human. There's like an 8 foot.
So you see that? So this is Esau and their understanding. And really, this, a lot of times they put stuff like this out there so the average man could question the Most High. Right? The average man or woman be like, well, it's the Most High real? Because there's aliens too. But I don't see that in the Bible. I don't see God creating aliens. Is God real? Because now I'm seeing, you're talking about UFOs and aliens. That means God isn't real. That means that a lot of times they'll use that and they'll do this stuff to play on people's faith or to play on it. You know, so this is Esau's talk about a so-called chariot crashing or a UFO crashing. Here's something else we want to get into. Right, so that's madness. I believe this is what we also read. This is from today. Police response a call on 10-foot aliens in Vegas homeowners. Now, really, the word alien biblically is used in the law. If I type in the word alien, we'll see the different context and what it's used in. The word alien just means a foreigner. Now, the so-called white man, the so-called Arab man, the so-called Chinese man, right? They're natural aliens, right? Our people in Deuteronomy 14, it says, ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. So you can sell food that die of itself, like not roadkill, but you know, a cow may have a heart attack, right? Something may die of old age, and you can sell it to an alien. This word alien means what? Let's pull this up in Hebrew. All right, let's actually, aliens are biblical, but they're not extraterrestrial creatures. They are from this earth and they dwell amongst us, but they are your so-called white man and your other nations. Here's the word strangers. I believe that's nakar in the Hebrew, right? It says foreign, alien, foreign, right? Unknown, unfamiliar. That's all it means. All right. Now, even if we go to the etymology, so no, they don't drive so-called UFOs. So an alien is really just a foreigner. See that? Alien, strange, foreign. From Old French, alien, strange, or foreign. Or from the Latin, alienus, which means of or one. If a man, an alien can be somebody that you, he's an alien to you. Right? Again, it doesn't have to be some guy with a ray gun. Right? Traveling from planet so-and-so, man, to harvest the resources of the earth. Aliens were people in the ancient world who were unfamiliar with the Hebrew Israelites, our laws, our commandments, you understand, and our nationality, and who our God was. You understand? Like Akira the Ammonite in the book of Judith, he was an alien. You understand? You have many, Rahab the harlot, she was an alien. Ruth, she was an alien. They were all aliens who were brought in and they dwelt amongst the Israelites. And many such more heathen, even the Gibeonites in the book of Joshua. I believe that's the 9th chapter. They were aliens and then they dwelt amongst us and became hewers of wood and drawers of water. So Esau has, I'm trying to find the right word, taken this word alien and used it in such a off context, and it's taken it away from the biblical understanding. All right. Now, when you go back to this, right, 10-foot aliens, but they're talking about green men and Martians. Okay. Let's reports and police have been investigating. The police are taking this seriously because they witnessed the bright lights as well. The crash was caught on a Ring camera. I tried to find that so-called crash, but it wasn't a crash. Again, the chariots don't crash. All right, now the chariots are crashing everywhere. This is madness, man. All right. The family gave lots of info about the crash to the police and what they witnessed. There are sure a lot of very specific details. There are reports of one witness shooting video of the creatures. So far, that video hasn't been released. Let me play this.
Yard of the northwest home.
So that's reported about. It's generated a global response, and now piecing together the sequence of events has been kind of tricky, in part because the primary witnesses have been almost as elusive as the beings they say they encountered. Chief Investigator George is as perplexed as the rest of us, George.
As you know, this is not first. Via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world.
Right,
an alleged crash,
that's actually not a bad picture,
and bits and pieces that don't make
like
sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we. Just before midnight,
so that's
on April 30th,
you see that?
Across
Allegedly.
saw a bright. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same
Now, do we know what that? Can I explain exactly what that is? Right? No, but the Most High did say that you will see signs in the heavens. Right? All we can say that is not a chariot crashing. That's what we can say. All right, we're confident about that. I mean, we're 100% confident that the chariot did not crash. As far as what you saw, and I'm gonna play it again. That green light coming down. That's not the first time that type of thing has been recorded. But nobody has ever then said that there was a UFO crashing. Why is it now when you see that green light? And like I said, people have recorded that on dash cams driving, but they never say there was a UFO crashing. So these devils, they always up to no good, bro. Nevertheless, Luke chapter 21, and I believe I want 11. Here's one of the signs of the end of the world. Okay, Luke 21 and 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So you were supposed to just look at that green light and say, wow, that's one of the great signs or fearful sights from heaven. We had blood moons back to back to back to back. I believe it was almost 7 blood moons in a row. Then you had the sun that rose up pitch red. You had the air being darkened. And that reminded me of Revelation, the 9th chapter, when it says the sun and the air became dark by reason of the smoke that came out of the furnace. Because that smoke is like even though it may have been man-made, we don't know, but it's a foreshadowing of what the earth will look like when war kicks off. That's what the earth is going to look like, you know. And then all of a sudden, after these signs of the sun and the moon, you have this green light flashing down from the sky, right? So these are part of the signs that Yahweh Shai said to look out for before his second coming. Right, let's play this video again.
same time, bring before we first heard about the incident in early May via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world: an alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. 2 brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
Okay.
Like I can't
So
explain
Esau,
it.
like I said, what they're doing spin. It's lucky. You're putting their own spin on the chariots, and they want man to believe and what's out there in the media, man. But that's not biblical at all. We cover what the chariots are, right? We covered that these things don't crash. We understand that the Lord said in Genesis chapter 3:1 that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. All right. So this devil is always he's creating new Bibles, the PETA Bible, the Chat GPT Bible, the new AI Bible that he wants to create. Right. So this is absolute madness. All right, absolute madness. But I do want to take the last bit of this time to do a Q&A. We did say Q&A, so take time to any questions, right? To go into it's like some of these questions, if there were any, right, that may have been from this video or this breakdown or this lesson, or something that brothers may have had in their heart or in their spirit. So I want to kind of go into that for the remainder of this time for the live, right? If there are any, and if not, we'll open up another video where we'll do another live, rather, going into a Q&A and going into particular topics and breakdowns throughout the week. Right, so let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 22, right? Let's go to Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 12. Okay, this is Revelation, chapter 22 and 12. It reads, "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be." So the Lord is coming like a thief in the night. When the Lord returns, it's not going to be trying to figure out, is this an alien invasion? Right? It's something that a spaceship crashed. When the Lord returns, the Lord said, every eye shall see him. Right? And they also which pierced him. Everybody's going to see the chariots. They're going to cover the entire sky. Right? Whether you're in Babylon the Great or whether you're not. This is going to be a global deal. Right? And everybody's going to witness Michael the Archangel, Hamashiach Yahushai, and the wonderful works of our God. Right? And the Lord is coming quickly. You see these prophecies unfolding. You see World War III on the rise. You see nations picking sides. You see Saudi Arabia picking a side. You see the BRICS alliance. You see the dollar being ditched. You see these things happening right in front of you, man. So what manner of persons should we be in? The Lord said in 2 Peter, let me get this real quick, chapter 3. Right? It says, "And what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" 2 Peter chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 13. I'll start at 12. It reads, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire." I'm going to start at 11. It reads, I'm going to start at 10. 2 Peter 3 and 10. "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." That great noise is not a noise of a so-called flying saucer crashing, right? That noise is speaking about what? Those bombs dropping, that great trumpet, all right, blowing. And the heavens passing away with a great noise are these kingdoms you live in now. Russia, America, China, India, all of these worldly kingdoms, all of these heavens, meaning highly exalted societies, are going to pass away in the day of our Lord. It reads, "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Those are your skyscrapers, the condos, the aluminum, titanium, support beams, every mineral and element. When this destruction comes, let's melt these elements on the earth. And man, you're made of the elements of the earth. You have been made out of the dust of the ground. You have phosphorus in your bones. You have calcium. You have iron in your blood. You are a direct creation of what's out the earth. So if these creations of man are going to burn out the earth, the creation of God is also going to melt and burn out the earth, because you have these same elements in you. You can't escape from this if you're not doing the work of Yahweh Shemel Rashad, right? Keeping the commandments, repenting, you understand? Praying to Yahweh Shemel Rashad, getting your faith built up, loving your brother, loving your nation, separating from the world. You're going to be part of the judgment that the Most High, right? It reads, "Seeing then all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" Meaning, as you look at what the Most High is going to do on the earth, it should instill a fear in you that destruction is coming. I have to make sure that my speech is perfect. I have to make sure that my walk in the Most High God is perfect. I have to make sure that my behavior is perfect. I have to make sure I'm praying more, I'm reading more, I'm fasting, I'm keeping the commandments, I'm praying for more hope. I'm praying that the Lord don't take the Holy Spirit away from me. I'm gathering together as it is commanded us, and I'm doing my due diligence to make my calling and election sure. That's 2 Peter 1:10. You have to ensure that you are walking blameless in these last days. There's no time for folly, vanity, willful sinning, drawing back and drifting off back like Lot's wife. Yahushua said it best. He said, remember Lot's wife in the book of Luke, the 17th chapter. Right? Lot's wife was looking back in the world, missing out on the wealth that Lot had in Sodom, right? And everything else that came with it, right? We're not looking back in the world. We're pressing towards the mark. We're looking towards the kingdom. Those chariots that they make mockery of and make hoax videos of, we're looking to be inside those things, that large place. We're looking to get ascended up. We're looking for a great ascension and deliverance out of America, man. But the chariots ain't taking the wicked, right? They're taking the righteous. They're not taking the liars. They're not taking the thieves. They're not taking the men that hate their own brother. They're not taking the adulterers, right? They're taking the saints and the servants of the Most High God, man. It's all throughout the Bible, right? Let's read on. I'm going to read that again in 2 Peter 3:11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So we're looking and hasting to the coming of the day of God, right? I mean, we're looking to get out of here yesterday. We don't want to be here 50 more years. We don't want to be here 75 more years, man. God forbid, we don't want to die and wax old in the land of our enemies, man. You know? I don't want to see grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I don't. And this world, no, in the world to come, yeah, we're looking to be a nation. The Lord said the little ones shall become a great nation. But this is the final stop right here, man. This is just a temporary holding ground until we get out of here. Everything you see is temporary. This is just like a prison, an illusion. The cars, the money, the job. Don't get too caught up in this world, man. Your Lord said, beware lest any man enter surfeiting, paraphrasing, and the cares of this world and drunkenness. Greatly paraphrasing Luke, the 21st chapter, 34 and down. Don't let your job take a hold on you, man. Take you away from the word of the Most High. Don't let flesh and blood take you away from the Most High. Don't let your own thoughts take you away from the Most High. Don't let that slothful demon take you away from the Most High, man. Don't let any other creature, any spirit take you away from the love of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Because this place is going down, man. Soon. That's why Yahushua said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give unto every man according as his work shall be. You're going to get rewarded according to the work that you put in. And you're going to get rewarded according to the work that you didn't put in. The Most High is looking at both, what you didn't put in and what you did put in. All right. Verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So that's what we're charging the nation, charging ourselves to be without spot and blameless in word and in deed and in thought. How we serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and how we deal with our neighbor. Right? But with that, we're going to close up. We'll open up another Q&A room live on the Cold Cuts channel sometime this week. Probably tomorrow, Lord willing, right? We'll take a set time and I'll open up, do Q&A, right? So tune into the Cold Cuts Resurrected channel. Time is failing us to go into it now. So if we didn't get to your question, write it down. Save it for the Q&A live tomorrow. I can't say what time it'll be. It'll be sometime in the late afternoon, evening, right? And we'll deal with that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Most High willing, you were edified. Stay in the spirit. Kwam Yashah. Another Monday Night Fire. Shalom.